Today we're going to be going over intro to keyword research for SEO. So if you have your own website and are looking to target specific audiences, this is the beginning stages of how you go about that. I am an SEO consultant and I specialize in helping businesses really understand and take their website to its full potential. And so today, let me help you guys by going over the basics to keyword research. That's me, and my website is kurthamel.com. So please like and subscribe if you like what you hear today. It's always great. And click the little dinger button too if you want to get a notification in the future when I come live or to see any other content I put up. Thanks. What are keywords? So SEO keywords are words or phrases on your website that make it easier for people and search engines to determine what your content is all about. And so just basically what people are actually typing into Google and what your website is about. So like a keyword could be as general as lawyer, or it could be as specific as, you know, defense attorney. I mean, those are short, old school keywords. Nowadays, keywords are becoming more longer, and we'll get into all that. But yeah, a keyword is basically any word or phrase, the key basically point of an article or a page that someone is looking for when they type into a search engine, for example, or when they're looking for content. And types of keywords, there are two types of keywords. There's just like the old school true keyword, which is just like one word or phrase, like, you know, lawyer, doctor, dentist. And then nowadays we have much more long-tailed keywords like divorce attorney or dentist and stuff like that. Alright, sorry. Divorce attorney in Detroit, for example, will be a long-tailed keyword, more specific, and getting more longer and specific. The more you niche down, the more articulate it becomes. And so we're seeing much more of a trend towards these long-tail keywords because it's much easier to compete. It's hard to compete for example, a very general term like lawyers, unless you're like one of the huge firms, but especially for local search, we're looking at these more niche, long-tail keywords. And as people move towards mobile and voice search, like I talked about in last week's webinar, which you can go see in my channel, we're having more natural phrases and more on-the-go phrases that are longer, like, you know, more specific. And so we'll talk about today how to figure out what to target on your website and in your content. So there's basically, going to be a little more complicated than this, but basically just 4 steps. Generate keyword ideas. Once you have those, research more specific long-tail keywords. Compare those different keywords and implement these keywords once you choose the best ones into your actual content and generate a content generation plan around those keywords. Keyword research platforms are Google AdWords Keyword Planner, Google Trends, Microsoft Bing Intelligence. Those are like the big 3. Those first 3 are like the heart of where everything comes from, right? So Google and Bing really control the entire search sector pretty much. And so these other 4 at the bottom, like Moz Keyword Explorer, WordTracker's Basic Plan, SEMrush, and Keyword Finder, those are just, they use the data from Google, but they're somewhat easier to use. Sometimes Google and Bing stuff are a little more complicated, but it's way more data oriented. And then at the bottom, like SEMrush and Keyword Finder are more specific. They can help you do some other things that Google doesn't really show you, but I'll get into that later. But this is just a list of some of the tools you can use to research, but at the end I will go over anything that, how we specifically use these different tools. And research is not just one step. So yeah, just don't research your main keyword and go with that. Many people just search through these tools like attorney or dentist and just kind of go with the top things because that's like what an untrained person would really do. But everyone else is kind of doing that, and even like mediocre SEO. I mean, old school used to just be able to slam a bunch of these keywords into your content or your web page, and boom, you'd go up in ranking. Not anymore. You really need to be specifically targeting long-tail keywords and phrases, and we'll get more into that. And exactly which ones, that's where all the research part comes in. And you got to remember, so the biggest thing is your potential client, potential customer, your target audience for your content and for your website is not looking specifically for you most of the time. 99.99% of their time, They are enjoying the internet for all its other functions in the world. What you got to figure out is how to hit them when they're not actively searching for your niche or niche. You got to know your full entire target audience idea. So like, what is your customer audience like interested in? Just besides what you are marketing. Let's say you are a dentist and you are marketing dental services. Well, yeah, everyone knows that you're going to be trying to market dental services, but at the main time, who else is in that target market? A lot of times it might be like moms and their kids need dental services, so where are they located on the internet? We got to figure that out. And this is what you got to be targeting, what they're doing online. Well, it has to kind of still relate to your niche. You can't just be like marketing adventure sports and be an attorney. But you don't want to just be competing directly with those dental search queries, because that's so competitive. It's really going to be a lot of work. Unless you're like a huge chain nationally, but mostly what I'm focusing at is the smaller independent business and the local business. And so with that, you got to go to where your customer is to get an idea of what they're looking at. And so where are they hanging out online? Where are they, at? Go to where they are, is that like Pinterest, Reddit, YouTube, Quora, blogs, forums, figure that out. If you can find if there's like, you happen to be in a field that has a huge niche blog or forum that people follow and comment on a lot, that's a great way to figure out what people are looking for. And to know exactly what questions people are asking specifically, because that's kind of what you're trying to target. But you need to really go there. And so where to go, ideas. So we got, let's just talk about some of these. Obviously, Google is one of the easier things to just know what people are looking for. So you literally just can go type in on Google, like, a few words. And I'm going to go into all these examples later. Not specifically these as much, but these are just to get some ideas, because we don't have the end of the world today. It's just basic intro. But if you go to Google and you type in, let's say lawyer, like a bunch of other things will pop down. This is the most non-scientific way to do SEO, but it is honestly a great start to get generating some ideas. Or like whatever that general word you're keywording for, if you go type that in Google and put a space after it, it'll come up, drop down some stuff. Another cool little trick is you type that word and you put like 2 or 3 spaces before it. Some more other types of search things will come up too with words before that. So I'll show that at the end when we go over actually how to do with Google. I'll do some quick little SEO pointers and like how to go through it. But and then there's like Reddit, and so Reddit is a little harder since the search engine is pretty bad on there, but still really useful. A lot of people, there's a subreddit on Reddit for everything, and so people talk a lot and post questions on there all the time, which is you can find out what people are actually looking for in your niche, whether that is videography, whether that's photography, whether that's law, dental, your restaurant business. You can go through there and figure out what people are actually literally typing in as humans. And now this is all just to get the good idea before we really narrow in on a topic. And same with Quora. If you don't know what Quora is, it is a question and answer site by experts, but people type in, natural questions. You can see what ranks and what doesn't rank on there. They have a pretty good search engine on their site. So just like Google, you type in like a word or two, you can see kind of the related questions. I'll go into all this in a bit. And then Wikipedia, if you use some Wikipedia articles, it's a little more difficult, but you can go to your topic of interest and then see what are like the top linked articles closely related to start getting an idea of what kind of related topics there are to aim for. That's a little more hard work. I'm not going to go into that one today. That's just something if you're really into looking to do SEO, kind of to get an idea of topic ideas. Wikipedia, yeah, I wouldn't suggest that for starters, but yeah, Google, Reddit, Quora, those are just literally typing some words in to figure out those what actual humans are typing in. Those are pretty good. And you really gotta eventually narrow down the field. So that's where once you get some of these ideas, and basically when you're going through all this, maybe make a spreadsheet with all this. You need to be like recording all these little words or phrases you're finding, just making a spreadsheet, boom, boom, boom. You maybe get like 100 phrases, and then you gotta kind of narrow it down. And that's where you get to the actual like statistical part and numbers. So after you've done some generic research, which is pretty simple, honestly, literally just typing words into the Google search, seeing what like the similar searches are, going on Reddit threads about the topic, Quora, you need to find which ones are actual viable options to target when people are really searching through the data now. Now, the number one thing to do is to check commercial intent, and once again, I'll go over, I have like some of the like Google Trends and AdWords and stuff pulled up after. I'll quickly, show you where you find all this stuff. Commercial intent, how likely someone's searching for a keyword is to like buy from you. So you're not really like, some keywords are going to rank high, but those people might not be willing to pay for your services. So you don't want to like, you might have create an article on your website, for example, that pulls in tons of traffic, you do great SEO, but none of those people are converting to your business. What you want to be targeting is the valuable customers that are actually looking for someone to hire and pay you for your services or your product or whatever that is. And so you basically go through, and I'll show this later, on like AdWords research through Google or whatever other program you're using, and you just check what the price value for those keywords are, and you're not paying for this. This is all about organic SEO, so it's just a good indicator of actual valued customers. I'll show that later. No. Alright, and then, yeah, like I was saying earlier, search Google yourself. What do the results look like? What is their snippets? And I was talking about like phrases and stuff last week's webinar and snippets, but I'm going to go show you again like what I mean by all this at the end of this. How many AdWords are there when you search something on Google? So if there's like 1 or 2 ads at the top, that's probably not a very great keyword to go after. But if there's like 4 or 5 ads at the top of Google, especially if you're doing local, search through Google Maps, because if there's like paid ads for a local topic, that's a really good one to go after. It's just a competitive area, but if there's like not that many, it's probably not a very competitive keyword, and you probably don't need to worry about it too much, unless you're really trying to go for a super niche audience. That's the only time you're really not worried about all that stuff. If you're doing a niche topic, then just go for it, but then you don't really need to worry about all this anyways. Google secrets. Okay, so after I'm going to show you SEMrush, search engine marketing rush.com, and so Google doesn't actually show you the number of hits anymore for a topic, so it kind of shows you a general estimation number, but if you need the actual numbers, SEMrush will show you that. So that's when you're really looking at, like, let's say you get down to like a few keywords and you're trying to decide which ones are better. SEMrush will show you the exact number in like the United States of how many people searched that topic that month compared to another one. Where Google might just say it's between 1,000 and 10,000 people, or 10,000 and 100,000. I mean, it could be 10,001 versus 99,999. SEM will tell you exactly how many people show that, and I'm going to go through some of these at the end too, just giving you a quick idea. Google Trends. You can compare different keywords, seeing how they're rising or falling over time. Like some keywords might have been super popular and are still more popular than other keywords, but you might be able to look at a chart, which I'll show you too, and see that some keywords are rising while some are falling. And you kind of want to go for that one that's the new and upcoming keyword, because that is going to be more growth in the long run. And the other one's kind of dying off, and so you don't want to be going for something that's dying off. You want to be looking for growth for your website. And keeping up, SEO is a service that you need to be doing not all the time, but consistently, maybe once a month or at least once a year. You need to be updating all this stuff. And the more you update and the more you stay competitive, the better it gets. And please subscribe and like. And no, I'm not done yet. I really just wanted to go over all these stuff at the beginning. And now I'm going to actually show you how some of these products work in like real life. Alright, so first off, there is Google AdWords, which is the biggest, the behemoth, we should say. And so Google AdWords, this is the keyword planner. So you go to adwords.google.com, sign in with your Google account, you'll get this message too once you have to like add a payment method, but you don't have to pay for any AdWords. Now that's a thing a lot of people don't know. They think they have to be having ongoing advertisement payments at the same time. You do not. All you need to do is create an account. You never have to buy a single ad, but you can still go to their keyword planner. That's why it has this little red thing at the top of my screen that says update payment method, because they want me to update payment method, but you don't have to. They're just trying to get you to pay for some ads with Google. Ignore that. And once you go to the keyword planner, after you clicked go to at the top here, click this little wrench, and it would be here on the left at planning, this keyword planner. And so once you have a good phrase, you kind of go to this keyword planner and type it in. But that's keyword planner. But first, you want to go to Google. And so what I was talking about earlier is so like let's say lawyer, right? So if you just click space after lawyer, boom, all these things come down. Obviously not trying to, maybe lawyer jokes would be a funny good one to target because you'd still add traffic to your site, but probably not. And so also though, if you do spaces before, let's say you put 2 spaces before, look at all this other stuff that comes up. And now this is obviously a very small keyword. You're going to be wanting to do like longer keywords or phrases that are more specific than lawyer, like maybe defense attorney or whatever is specific. And so with that, that's how you just get some ideas from Google. So like if you were doing defense attorney, boom, it tells you all this stuff after. And if you do spaces before, look at all this, other stuff pops up. And now this is not a scientific way, this is just a good general idea way. So you're making a spreadsheet with all these, adding them there. And then you're going to be like looking that up in the keyword planner. So you're like, obviously you're not typing in defense attorney at this point, you have some other phrases to check out. But once you do it, get started. Boom, you got this whole list. And now what's great about the keyword planner from Google is you can download all this as a spreadsheet. They just updated everything too, which is great. Oh, it's right here, big blue button, download keyword ideas. But you can see the bid price over here, which you can sort by. You can sort everything. And that's what I was talking about when I was saying commercial intent earlier. You're looking at that, and that's the value. Wow, look at like this one is. I mean, you can download all this into like a spreadsheet for Google Sheets or Microsoft Excel. But look at drunk driving accident lawyer. That one I was looking at defense attorney is much more rated than defense attorney. And that's kind of something you're going to be wanting targeting. Obviously, you're going to be wanting to make a huge list of these, getting more specific, more niche, and then looking through all this. I'm just showing the basics really quick, how these programs work. And so SEMrush is also that program I was talking about, because if you look back over here, it just tells you 100 to 1,000 or whatever. You can do average monthly searches. And it tells you, 100,000 to 1 million. Like, what does that number mean? It could be 100 to 1,000, or it could be 999,999. You don't know. So what SEMrush does, if we're doing like, shoot. Oh yeah. I just spelled that wrong, I think. Did I not? Oh yeah, I did. I just butchered that. Sorry, guys. But so what this site does is it'll tell you the specifics of how many people are searching that in the U.S., which is a good number to do because, I mean, basically everyone in the U.S. is looking at the same things. There are some keywords that are region-specific, and then you might want to use Google. Google lets you even narrow in down to the state or even like the local location. So if you're like in Detroit, you could literally look at what Detroit, but it's hard. You don't have as big of a sample size. So you kind of, a lot of times I use Michigan, for example, from where I am. I don't always use the U.S., but sometimes very local really only works if you're in big cities like, LA or New York. Oh god, I'm not logged in on this account. I'm sorry. Yeah, you can just register with them. You can use their program, but it tells you the specifics. And then last, I want to show you guys Google Trends. So Google Trends is a great program to compare topics. So let's just keep doing this defense attorney. It is a great program. And any questions? Nope. All right. So you can see that over time, defense attorney is a pretty stable result. But if you compare right here, it's in the top right here, a defense attorney with, drunk driving attorney. And you can add more than 2 also. Look at this. So obviously defense attorney is way, way up here, but what are and that's why you got to use those other programs to figure out who is searching for this, because some people might want to become a defense attorney. I think many people want to become a drunk driving, but drunk driving attorney specifically. But and so instead of worldwide, you can set this to, let's say Michigan. And sometimes though, some terms are actually too small for them to even trend. But look at this. So you can see some jumps up here, and the spikes are April, November. So right after like the holiday, any holiday, it'll spike up a little for attorneys, which is kind of funny. Oh, and you can do metro area like I was talking about, Detroit, Saginaw, west side, north of Michigan, way up there, Yoopers, Lansing. But yeah. So obviously this is not, I'm not telling you to look up defense attorney, drunk driving attorney. I'm telling you to compare those more specific terms, and that's what you can do with this. Because obviously right now drunk driving attorney is dud on these. There's not enough data. But what you can do is get those like more specific terms and look at through the whole U.S. and see where those trends are heading. And then also I was talking about like using the Quora. That's a great one to get terms for to start with, to get some research ideas. So why am I not logged in? Alright, there we go. Search Quora. And so now if you typed in drunk driving, you can see all these topics, and just like in Google, alright, yeah. Oh yeah, search. I'm not even on the search bar. You have to go here. And then you can just go to questions. It's a great one. And boom, there's so many topics you can just get ideas from before you start researching using these other platforms to compare numbers. But that's all it for the basics of SEO. Obviously, what I do is goes way more in depth with the numbers. I'm really trying to like hiring an expert is they're gonna be able to like fine tune these for you. And you might even just want to hire an expert just to get a good list of these eventually. But this is just kind of the general tools we use in the field. It's like get you a feeling, to get you understanding how like an SEO expert is actually looking up these terms. And much more these days, like people like always joke, because there's so many bad SEO people that are out there to scam you. You can like test what they're doing, talk to them about these services, so you can know if they're like legit or not. That's really also a good thing to know, just general SEO, because there are so many SEO people out there that you're going to come talk to. They're going to come to your email, you spam emails from them. And it'll just be like, yo, I'm just gonna they're still doing the old school way of just nailing your page full of general keywords, but you really got to be niching down, finding the exact keywords that you need to compete for in your area. And once you find all these keywords too, I'm gonna get out of this. Once you find these keywords, you really want to be writing content, creating web pages on your website that are aiming towards these and creating traffic. If you just make a quick page with like one paragraph on this topic, that's not going to work. You need to be embedding these into your content, but don't sacrifice content for the keyword, obviously. You want to be creating great content with these keywords in mind. But that's about it for the intro to keyword research. Maybe we'll go into something else next week. I haven't really decided what the topic will be. Thanks for joining, though. If you're still watching, please like, subscribe. You can find me at kurthamel.com or on my Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Snapchat, whatever means you. All the links will be in the doobly-doo at the bottom. And thanks for coming today. I really appreciate it. Like, subscribe, hit that notification button. All right, and you guys have a great day. I will see you next Wednesday. Thanks.